Every moment in time creates questions human mind cannot answer. Out of reach, past all we can see, hear, and touch. Beyond all we can understand lies Boomerang Kid. In my quest to find the worst game based on Australia I can find, here we have Boomerang Kid. I call them Australasia Obscura. Made by Codemasters and published by Chimerica under the Quattro Adventure label, it's one of the shittest, piss-poor attempts to cash in on the fabled Aussie aesthetic. Just reading the back of the box here, amazing gameplay, starring the Boomerang Kid and a host of weird creatures. Snapping alligators, cute koalas, Howard the Dingo, knights in armour, Toby the dog, plus castles, secret switches, crumbling platforms, hidden caves, world warps. The fun never stops. An absolutely brilliant game. Right, alright, Chimerica, you've convinced me. The title screen shows the main character throwing a boomerang and coming off as completely ineffectual. He even gets shit on by that Roo. For shame. Some decent background animation on the title screen, but that bubblegum style music, it's horrid. Get ready for the outback, ooh, I'll bet. Says down the bottom it's the dream time though. Everyone knows there were no whiteys in the dream time. The main character's an Aussie kid, I guess. A boomerang kid of sorts. Seems he's off to collect some while dodging Aussie wildlife. Seems like a fairly impatient bloke, actually. All you do is collect all the boomerangs and move on to the exit. That seems simple enough. Oh, what? The fall damage is beyond unfair. You're telling me you can't hop down that small gully? Hopefully you can at least use the boomerang on this tiger snake. Well, what the is the point of it all then? Why are there boomerangs that I can't even throw? I really need to know the premise here. Alright, so Boomerang Kid was lost by his parents on a camping trip to the outback. Luckily, an Aborigines tribe found him and saved him from being a dingo's dinner. The Aborigines raised him as one of their own and taught him the ways of survival in the outback. Now that Boomerang Kid is older, he wants to repay the Aborigines, so when their boomerang store is raided, he sets out to find them, vowing not to return until he has every single one. Yeah, so it'd stand to reason he'd know how to use the bloody things. With the name of Boomerang Kid, raised by Aboriginals, and on a console that has a proud line of characters that use boomerangs. Nah, I'm calling the police. When you do exit the stage, you get to choose between two different paths, and that is actually pretty cool. Shark City or Platypus Place. I know which I'd prefer. Slowly but surely, the number of boomerangs you need to collect increases, and so do all the enemy types. Boomerang Kid's moveset is very simple, but he controls pretty good. You can adjust his jump height, but inertia is committed. Very strict time limits too. As you progress further into the outback, the layouts start to get more elaborate, and it becomes clear that the chief mechanic in this game is the jump. Jump control is the order of the day, and it gets trickier and trickier. Never ever forget that what comes up must inevitably come crashing down. So he can use the boomerang on the high score table. Unbelievable, mate. What the f***? Here we have Koala Bear Creek, giving new meaning to the term drop bears, and a kangaroo guarding a boomerang. If I could only throw the bloody things, we'd be having kangabangers for tea. Whoa, how did I not notice that saltwater crocodile sitting there? From this point on, we've got crumbling platforms to contend with too, and... oh, cool! What an awesome surprise! Either way you choose to travel, you'll end up at the one-way ticket bridge. If you break the platforms here before getting the boomerangs up top, then you can commit suicide with the select button. That's, Oh, great! Outback's done. So, we're in a castle now. Is this Cryle Castle? This game just got all... Here, the game makes you trek through obstacles to grab a boomerang that then makes the next one appear. Ooh, they're gonna have some fun with that, aren't they? New obstacles make life even more frustrating, such as these conveyor belts, moving platforms, and switches that make platforms appear or disappear. Even here at the end of the stage, you need to make sure to drop onto this tiny platform that raises out of the ground a few millimeters, or dead. Oh, now we're in the Tower of London. That's definitely not an Australian landmark. Maybe we'll see Jake around here somewhere. Not having any way of continuing really harms this game, as trial and error rule the day. There is no easy way to complete these tasks, and being thrown all the way back to the start of the game ruins any appeal or sense of progression or satisfaction that you may have had. So we're bringing Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde into this now. Either they got really confused, or this isn't Australia at all. The puzzles in this area are extraordinary. Some of the most methodical and difficult I've ever experienced. So many deaths. The conveyor belts are shit because once you stop moving against them, it's impossible to prevent Boomerang Kid from flying perpetually off in the opposite direction. Even the springy platforms don't stop fall damage, and that's an abomination against all platforming sensibilities. This is the worst. You can end up consistently trapped at every turn, and being forced to commit suicide every 10 seconds robs the game of any kind of satisfaction. Even the f***ing ceiling kills ya! Onto the final world then, the caves. Here we got bats, frogs, weird invisible humanoids. Actually, could they possibly be yowies? The Boomerang Thieves have chosen a great place to hide out because this joint's brutal. I gotta say, this is actually wearing on me. I'm bloody hating this. Please be over soon. Look at the speed of this frog! The platforming here needs to be literal perfection. There's not room for a single error. Yep, commit suicide, commit suicide, commit suicide. Oh, what's the fucking point then, hey? Oh, now I'm out of time again. This game f***ing sucks. To be honest, it's a lot like Donkey Kong Jr., but way harder and no forgiveness whatsoever. One of the worst things about a brutal puzzle platformer is having the screen go dark every time the game is paused, meaning you can't track your progress. You're forced to do everything on the fly after a huge amount of trial and error. This is unforgivable. Cave of Penultimate Evil. This must be where this abomination was spawned. Now we got maze-like doorways to navigate as if the game wasn't hard enough. These last two puzzles will test your patience to the very limit. Thank goodness I'm doing it so you don't have to. I'm not even joking, this is the hardest game that I have ever played in my life. I'm not kidding. Dark Souls doesn't have shit on Boomerang Kid. Can you even believe such a thing could be possible? I'm not lying, this is what's gonna end it. This is what's gonna end my life. I can't do it. I cannot beat Boomerang Kid. Fuck! You promised me an absolutely brilliant game. You're a liar. We're done. Oh my god. Do I feel a sense of satisfaction? No, I do not. I feel like I just wasted my f***ing life. Alright, show me what you got, ending. Congrats, you got all the boomerangs. Game resets to the start. I should have bloody guessed. F*** you, Boomerang Kid, and f*** are you Codemasters. All in all, the gameplay boils down to a simple yet uninteresting puzzle platformer with multiple paths through the game, decent visuals, boring repetitive music, and no way to attack your enemies or continue your game. Having boomerangs collectible but not usable is a travesty that can never be corrected. I like some of the Aussie imagery, but all in all, this is definitely not the Aussie-themed game you've been waiting for. If you're still here, you're either incredibly bored or you really care about Aussie game development and Aussie-themed games, and I can appreciate both, so thanks for watching. Keep safe in these troubled times, and we'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.